your soul away. You didn't question, you never asked. Intuition cried, all discernment died. You did what you were told. I put on the mask. It's all contrived. It's a masquerade. All improvised. Just a assumes the guise of a masquerade. Fight through the lies of the masquerade.
Right guys, so coming up is some old clips which contain, in my opinion, the answers to what the phenomena is, which is deja vu. It's my answer. Now, it doesn't mean it's right, it just means it's my opinion, but it's like 2, 3, 4 theories. So I'm going to give you brief clips of what I think it is, then in my thoughts I'm just going to go over it a little bit easier for you guys. And like I was saying, here's some of the clues, then it's my thoughts. Contains everything, the fates, the normal, atmospheric memory, you name it. This is what I believe the phenomena is, and basically why we have it quite a lot. So here goes guys. Hopefully you'll enjoy. I mean, I will talk about fate, which are known as the norms, but it's pronounced norms. Remember the norms.
We need to define a new normal.
A new normal. A new normal.
Stop saying that. This is not the new normal.
Welcome to the new normal.
Now imagine a world where mass outbreaks of deadly diseases are commonplace. Well, it sounds scary, but that might not be too far off. The World Health Organization has warned in a BBC interview that we're entering a new phase where such a reality is, quote, a new normal. And it's calling for the world to get ready. The World Health Organization has warned in a BBC interview that we're entering a new phase where such a reality is, quote, a new normal.
Say what?
A new normal.
Our thoughts, our consciousness, our words, our memories are kept all around us in the waters.
This is what it is, okay? I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Abracadabra. Interesting word, is it not? From the Aramaic, I will create as I speak. But also, there's another variant on it. It will be created in my words. So it's a powerful message, it's a powerful spell. Have we forgot how to use it? In ancient times, it said people would recite the word. Now they would use this to ward off illness. So do you say abracadabra? They would do this by taking a letter off or away after each recitation to leave just the letter A. So abracadabra basically means to create. How many letters are in the word or in the spell? Now I'm going to slow it down and I'll let you count it, because this blew me away, because it's a powerful spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. That just had me lost for words. So 11 letters in the spell abracadabra. Surely that is a wow. If there is magic on this planet, it is contained in water. So this is Charles Babbage. Now he said something very, very, very profound, because I've been talking about memories, water, words, spells for a long, long time. Now he said the earth itself is a vast library on whose pages are forever written all that man has ever said, or a woman whispered. Now you could say the Akashic or the Akashic records, but this was very profound for me because I've been talking about it for many years. So just picture all the words we have ever said when we are talking. Where does the energy, where does the power, where do the sigils, where does the essence of that word go? Is it into the void? Is it into the water all around us? So this is a scene that I want to picture you to picture. Can you see all the words on the screen are floating? They're stored away in the library in the sky. And this is what this video is going to all be about. I'm going to include loads of my theories in so many different videos just to paint this picture. Now to give you an idea, this is Schillerin, if I pronounce that right. Now it's Schillerin imaging, and it's a way to make invisible flow elements such as gases and air visible. So just picture when you're talking or doing a spell, your energy is going somewhere. So you can see this is just blowing out a match, and you can just see his breath, you can see the flame, the gases. It's just breathtaking. A cup of tea or a cup of coffee being blown on to cool it down. Isn't this spectacular? So just imagine this being a spell, being talking out of your lips. It's wow. Here's a few quotes for you. All water has a perfect memory and is forever trying to get back to where it was. Toni Morrison. I love this quote. It's talking about how the water is always trying to get back. This is like when we are researching. We're researching for that water, that memory. Water has a memory and carries within it our thoughts, our prayers. As you yourself are water, no matter where you are, your prayers will be carried to the rest of the world. Now some people don't believe this research of immortal works. It's all about the intent. There's no point doing the experiment if you don't have the intent within you. Plants know, plants can feel. It's called the Baxter effect. Here's some couple great quotes. The multi-dimensional aspects of water are amazing. Water contains within itself the knowing or the memory of everything it comes in contact with. This means it carries the knowing and the memory of a place and the happening there, going back sometimes thousands of years. It's full of information, sort of like a mirror that keeps reflecting on everything it has encountered. That's what we're talking about in memory and research. We get enlightened because we have found the old memory, the old meaning of that topic. The memory, information and energy of the specific water that your mother was drinking in the first week of her pregnancy is the water that built your heart. So very profound quotes from Teal Swan there. So I wanted to go back to Charles Babbage. Now, as you know, he was the pioneer of modern computers. Some of the theories that he came across are used today. Now, he was also an inventor. Now, he was accredited of inventing the ophthalmoscope 3 years before the so-called official invention of the ophthalmoscope. But what caught my eye was he invented shoes to walk on water. Now, I don't think they worked because it nearly killed him, but you know, it just shows you the scope of his ideas. Now, he invented something called talking tubes, which you could talk like a telephone from London to Liverpool. So, you know, he did a lot. But this is why I wanted to talk about him, because in 1837 he came to the conclusion, and this is the conclusion he came to, which is wow. The entire history of human speech, every joke, every declaration of love, every angry word are captured in the atmosphere for all time. So I briefly talked about that before, but I just wanted to emphasize it a little bit more before I do the etymology. He believed that each breath and tiny motion was imprinted at the atomic level in the air that surrounds us. He believed with access to the right kind of calculations and machinery, basically, what do you think? That you could rewind these turbulent movements and retrieve the fleeting voices of the past. So he believed with his inventions or machinery and calculations, because that's what he's well known for, that you could retrieve these imprints, these voices from the atmosphere. Which, if you think about it, is exciting but also scary, because if God, you know, voices called technology, God technology, whatever you want to call it, is these other thoughts, because people talk about how it's not just the things that we're talking about now and thinking that's in this atmosphere, it's everything that we might have said. So you can see how deep this really goes. And if they did build this device, could it be like the chronovisor that the so-called Vatican have about a time travelling TV thing? With this, it's scary and exciting also to think about it, that they could just pick our thoughts, all the spells, everything that's been talked in existence in this realm. Because look at all the history, all the inventions, all this, everything that's been ever spoken could be retrieved from the atmosphere. Tell me that is not wow. So, words are trapped in the atmosphere. Let's look at what they say atmosphere means. Their etymology comes from 1630s in the Great Vowel to L shift. Atmosphere, modern from the 1670s, gaseous envelope surrounding the earth, from modern Latin atmosphere, from Greek atmos, which means vapour or steam, and obviously sphere. In old science, a vaporous air which was considered a part of the earth and a contamination of the lower part of the earth. So that's what they say atmosphere means. So while talking about the atmosphere, I wanted to have a quick look at atmosphere, not just in the definition of it, but if you actually search engine it, you'll come across so many different variants of how many layers there is to this atmosphere. But if you look at the generic one, the main one, you will get what you see on the screen here: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. But also what you will get, if you look even deeper, is an ionosphere. But ionosphere is supposedly the outer layer. But as you can see, you can get the ionosphere in the different layers. There's actually layers, or it's a generic term called regions, and it's F, E and D. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because this interacts with what is known as radio waves. As you can see, why is the ionosphere important? The ionosphere is useful in many ways. The ionosphere protects organisms and living things on Earth by absorbing ultraviolet light. Also, the ionosphere reflects radio waves emitted from the Earth and bounces them back towards the Earth. Why does the ionosphere reflect radio waves? So they say the ionosphere contains large amounts of free electrons that affect the propagation of radio waves. When high frequency radio waves hit the electrons in the ionosphere, they cause them to vibrate and re-radiate energy with the same frequency to the Earth. The ionosphere feature has long been used to enable long distance radio communications. Now, as you can see, they bounce it off the ionosphere. Now, what got me is, remember the film Frequency, when he talked to his father 30 years after his death, and it was a 2000 film with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Now, I'm not talking about could you talk to someone dead so many years. I believe anything is possible, but what I'm talking here is if Babbage, and what I've been saying for many years, that all our words, our thoughts, our consciousness is stored in the waters above. It has to travel through these different ionospheres and different levels. I mean, we used to have analog, which, as you know, translates into electric pulses of varying amplification. Now, what if there's a difference between that and the digital, which goes into binary? That just gets you thinking, doesn't it? Now, if everything is stored, memories, thoughts, consciousness, even words and spells, is our memory getting affected because it has to go through so many layers of atmosphere? And when you find out what etymology I found on it, you will think, you know, you're onto something. And this video is very, very deep, and it's touching on things that, yes, the huge what if might not make sense to many people, but it's just intriguing, because when the Frequency film came out, people were talking how they were listening to old radio stations that don't exist for many, many years. So if that's happening on a sense of old ham radios, and Babbage is talking about if you had the right calculations and machinery, you could listen and rewind what was being said many, many years ago. So that just gets you thinking, doesn't it? And that's all I ever ask. Now I'm going slightly off topic, because I've just noticed something and I want to talk out loud, as they say. So I talked about the ionosphere. Now this is the god Aeon, or Ion. Now you can automatically see where I'm going with this is Aeon or Ion in the sense of ionosphere and ions. Surely there's too much coincidence in that, because obviously Aeon or Ion, the god, is associated with everlasting time, eternity, and encompasses the universe, so it encircles everything. Could this be the reason behind ionosphere? Now, if you guys know from my past videos who a certain someone is Aeon. Aeon is thus a god of the cycle, ages, and the cycle of the year in the zodiac. Have a look at the Roman equivalent. Who could be that god? Oh yes, Janos. So we're talking about the ionosphere, and it's named after Janos. How about that, guys? You know the research I've done into Janos and the number 11. Just have a look at this. The structure of the atmosphere. It is now clear that the atmosphere begins at the Earth's surface, but scientists have given different opinions about its maximum height. Based on the information provided by radar, rockets, balloons and satelloons, many scientists now agree that the altitude is 29,000 kilometers. So what? 29? What's that? Oh yes, 9 add 2 equals, yes, 11. Just a coincidence for those people who don't like it. And it's considered an integral part of the layered atmosphere. In terms of air pressure, the temperature and weather pressure, 90% of the total gas in the atmosphere are located at 29 kilometers above the Earth. 29 to 9 again is, yes, another 11. That's just another conspiracy and coincidence. Now, only 50% of the gases are located up to 5.6 kilometers. 5 add 6, yes, you got it, is 11. These 11s just keep popping up and are just a coincidence of the numeric value of numbers. Or is it part of the plan? Is it a part of where we are? Hence my videos on the realm of 11. But I just had to put that bit in, because I was just talking about the atmosphere and ionospheres, and Aeon just reminded me of ionosphere. Could that possibly be a link there? I'll leave it up to you guys, but I can see the link. But you know what, guys, I see so many different things, and we all on our different path, but that got to me is too much of a coincidence not to include it. So guys, I could not put this other connection in, because I've just talked about Aeon or Ion. Could it be Ion in regard to the connection to Janos? And as you can see, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, otherwise known as NOAA. Well, we're talking about the waters, we're talking about the atmosphere, we're talking about memory, we're talking about spells, everything in this realm of 11. Now, what a coincidence that another name Janos went by was Noah. For all you people who just joined me for the first time, Noah goes by many names, and Janos is one of them. And I could not put this in for anyone who's not seen the older videos. So you can see the connection there with ionosphere, and Ion being another name of Janos. We're talking about Noah, which is the administration, and I'm talking about the atmosphere and the oceans, goes by Janos too. It's crazy when people say this is not connected and it's just a coincidence. Guys, come on, you can see it. So we're just talking about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It got me thinking, what is NOAA, spelled NOAA, in Gematria? And I wasn't surprised. It come to 92, which, yep, you got it, is 11. The connections that I'm just keep finding are just blowing my mind, and hopefully, guys, they're blowing yours too. So I did the spell etymology of atmosphere, as you can see on the screen. I broke it up into 3, and wow, I know I say that a lot, but I wasn't ready for what I found, and it just ties in so much with the video. It'd be like, wow, really, the spell is hidden in the word atmosphere. It is crazy, guys. So atmos, obviously you saw that before, means steam or vapor. Now, could that be the steam or vapor that when we speak, when we breathe, could it be that? So that is obvious from the etymology. Atmos means steam or vapor. So that's interesting, just in the first 5 words. Atmos means steam or vapor, right? The next one was PHE, phi, in sphere. It means to speak. Wow. So the steam or vapor, then it means to speak. So it's already talking about you using your vocal cords, the vocal cords, the voice of God, to talk, and it's in the atmosphere. How crazy is that, guys? That just blew me away. So far you've got atmosphere, means steam or vapor, then the sphere, the PHE, the fear, means to speak. Wow, that is just what we've been talking about, being all the words trapped in the atmosphere. And RE at the end means to refill, obvious, regenerate, again and again, and back to the original place. So some people don't like me saying wow, but I'm sure if you see that etymology, it should be wow, 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 wow. That atmosphere, broken down by me, means the steam or vapor, and to speak and to rebuild, to refill, reset, rewrite, also means again and again and again, and regenerate, refurbish, and back to the original place. Tell me that isn't so intriguing and wow. That our breath, basically, and the spells that Babbage was talking about, and how our words are kept in the atmosphere. You break down the word atmosphere, the spell, and it contains not only the steam or vapor from our breath, it also contains to speak. Remember to speak. Remember abracadabra. With the always the at the first and at the end, and re to refill, and again. Just, guys, it just knocked me for 6.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. They call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome, and an extra special welcome to you if you're a new subscriber. But guess what? I'll not let you guys who've been here a while. Hello to you too. I'm crazy. I'm excited. I'm easily passionate about things, and hopefully that reflects in my video. So I try and just calm down a little bit. I generally do, but you know what I'm like, guys. I get easily excited. I'm like sharing my thoughts, and you in the room, we're talking to each other, and that's how I do my videos. So again, thanks for the love, support, all the one that's liked, shared and subscribed. Go, guys. You make me feel wanted, so thank you. And for anyone who's helped by buying me a coffee, or as what I say, buy me a bar, guys, humbly my heart goes out to you. Thank you. It really is keeping me and the channel afloat and helping. Really is, guys. I do appreciate the support, and you can do that by hitting the barcode or the link in the description. So let's go onto the video, Deja Vu. So first of all, do you have it? Do you experience it? I experience it in a prolific manner, once, twice a day. It's crazy. So hopefully there's not something wrong with the brain, because they say, or some articles say, they talk about how people only experience it if they've got a neurological problem. And I'm just going to read it out now. So I'll put it over the screen and I'll shut up. Here goes. So, grey matter. Now, this is what they're saying. Types of deja vu. Though the actual feeling of deja vu is the same across people with healthy brains and those with neurological conditions, different things are happening in the brain during each of these types. Those who do experience it more regularly show less grey matter than those who don't. Grey matter is the outermost layer of the brain and it is responsible for controlling movement, memory and emotions. Typically, the more grey matter a brain has, the more effective it is. In those with neurological conditions, 3 parts of the brain are impacted: the hippocampus, the parahippocampal gyrus and temporal neocortex, areas that are associated with forming and retaining memories. Those with epilepsy and deja vu, alterations in memory circuitry have been observed. Meanwhile, alterations in emotional circuitry are seen in healthy individuals experiencing deja vu. Deja vu is thought to be perhaps abnormal signalling within the medial temporal lobe, which governs memory processing, particularly visual memories. So the saying is basically, if your grey matter is thin, you experience it more. That must be me because I experience it really a lot. But they're saying basically, if you have a thin grey matter, you're not basically, your brain's not effective. Well, I think my brain's effective, so I just had to share that bit with you. So you just saw that, and basically they're saying that people who experience it from their stats have less grey matter. Well, I think I do pretty alright using my brain for having less grey matter. My discernment's good, my memory is good, and I'm able to theorise and use my brain in ways not many do. So is that just a lazy excuse for them to explain a phenomena that is happening? Because we as a people, and I hold my hands up, if we can't experience it the same way as people do, it's not real. They're making the shit up. And it's not until you experience it yourself and try and get your head around things. Like years ago, I try and respect everyone at face value, but sometimes inside you're like, you know what I mean? So when someone was saying something about glitches in the Matrix, frozen planes, birds, I was like, nah, that's a bit too far. Until I experienced it myself. And I didn't just experience it myself. I had my mother and my children in the car. So there was 4 people who experienced that phenomena, a shared phenomena. So did it happen? Did it really happen? And I'm glad I had people with me and to experience it. It was truly, it did change me, where it gave me a more respect for people. Just because we don't experience or see these things the way they do, we're too quick to judge. We know we're always judging a book by a cover with the scrying mirrors, the judges, the black veil, and we shouldn't. But you know, as long as you learn, that's what we have to do. And I learned and got taught a lesson. So what is actually going on with this deja vu? There's loads of things, there's different things, and it's like, whoa, there's so many different ways to experience it now, and then they're coming out with more. Are they just subcategories? Is it really happening? Is there a fault with my wiring? Am I not right upstairs? Don't answer that, people. I can say, you know what I mean? Don't answer that. So for this to work, this theory to work, I included atmospheric memory, doorway effect type, to try and answer those questions the best way I can. So here goes, and you had the new normal and things like that, and you probably saw the video and maybe have not understood why I've done it. That was from an old video that I did. That's not available on this channel. I've not uploaded it. It was just a spell etymology on the new normal, and I may include it in the future, but it goes with what we're trying to talk about. So today we're talking about deja vu, and also you have jamais vu, and then all the other subcategories we'll say. So I have experienced it. like I was saying, quite a lot. I use it to navigate myself through this reality when I know what is going to happen and it's not how I want it to end. Like I've got hurt or a bad argument or something. I see it in a vivid way where it's like Deja Vu, the film with Denzel. I'm sitting back and I see myself doing this in sound, everything, and I see the end of it. And I don't like that ending, so I change it. Now, this is where the new normal comes in, and why that word, that phrase, that spell was thrown around those many years ago when we had that event. So, what is it? I broke it down. So, the new is self-explanatory, and I split normal into two, norm and AL. AL can be changed to EL, Elohim, the L's, which I talk about quite a lot. Something divine, an essence, not necessarily a god, but it could be, or a form, a magic, a spell, a frequency that is used, like supernatural, natural, light. So I split into two, and that left with me with norm, Norm. And we're talking about fate. And if you saw films and the Greek, they call the fates. And in the Norse mythology, they're called the Norns. Norm, and the sisters. But you pronounce it and you say it as norm. So in my reckoning, am I winging it? I thought, could the new normal be the new norms, the new fates? We're changing threads, we're changing phases. They were trying to take us from a thread and direct us to another path, hence the new normal. So you've got to theorize and use that. If you believe in fate, do we make our own fate up? Or, like I was talking and Babbage was talking about it, and people have talked about the Akashic or the Akashic records throughout time immemorial. If everything that we will going to do, have not done, and have done is all recorded, the past, the present and the future, and the transition in between those events, hence why doorways is always tied to us, not only in the pineal but symbolically, and why doors are important to my theory. Anything has to go past through a door, and that's why I was talking about the doorway effect. How can you as a person say, I'm just going to go and get something out the fridge, or I'm just going to go next door and pick something up, go out the room through the door or whatever, wherever you live, and you're like, shit, what did I come in here for now? It was only like 2 seconds. How is that humanly possible? And this is agreed upon phenomena. Also, it's known as the doorway effect. So this, thus, to me, is our thoughts, our consciousness, our memories, our past, present and future memories have to have been stored all around us, in between the atoms and molecules, whatever you want to call it, the Akashic records, Catchy records, the library in the sky, the hard drive, the matrix. It has to have been stored. So if you don't believe in fate, maybe you're not believing this, but everything is played out like a precog type of thing, like premonition, like I've just had, like deja vu. I saw something happen. Now all this is stored all around us, and it's all accessed, it's all encoded with a unique Dewey Decimal thing that you have in a library, a date code reference, and you are able to retrieve that at will. You're just like using your brain, the codex, the index. And this is why it works in my theory. It needs it all together. So this is to prove that our memories are stored around us, because once we break that threshold of the door, it wipes your memory. Why? Is it just the transitioning? Is it because the doors are not just spiritually, but they're actual physical entities that can do things to us? Hence why police need warrants, vampires need permission, why they put blood on doors to keep away the angel of the death. The significant is the threshold. You carry the wife across it for the first time. In feng shui, it's important, even the colour. It's why they have guardians as well at the door, the fufu dogs or the lions in Egypt. They were to guard the threshold. So this works to me and proves, just to me, again, it's just my opinion, that this phenomenon of the deja vu is you able to recall an event quicker than it's actually playing out in this. You are retrieving that information and you've actually got the capacity to see it happening in front of you. Yes, it could be, I've got a brain problem. And again, don't answer that, ladies or gents. So I leave everything on the table. I don't like to discount anything because I'm not smart enough and I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I'm just winging it, and you guys are here for the ride and just take on what, you know, it is tuning to you. So this works. Our memories have to be stored around us because if you're walking through a door, it gets affected. Right. That makes sense. So when I'm talking about Babbage and the cassette records and everything is stored around us, that's why I was using that Schiller and photo stuff to show you. People talk about cymatics. The sound, the frequency hitting the medium, creating a sigil, a logo, a logos, the word of God. And we use the vocal cord, the voice of God. And when we producing a sound, it hits a medium. You can see if it's the sigils. Frogs make it when you saw that image of it in the water and it vibrates. We're able to do this. So if we speak, where is this energy that we are harnessing and focusing in a direction going? Where is it being stored? Is it being stored atomically, like Babbage was talking about? And that is the space. It's all kept in there. And when we need it, we recall it. When you want to recall something, you look up and away. Or you go like this, the thinker, or like that as it's changing. It's changing in different forms, like the Mandela effect. Because we're accessing different types of memories. Some things will never happen. But it's all stored and it's all kept. That's why when we talk about the norms, the three sisters, the fate, and the woven fabric of our fate and trying to cut it, you know, when you die, were they trying to change the new norms by bringing in another frequency that basically took you off a certain path, if you believe in fate? But is this symbolically or physical frequency that is attaching us to our encoded memories broken when we go through the door, the power of the door? And this fascinates me. So again, we're retrieving information. It's like having two computers in front of you right now. One computer or phone. Use your computer, it's easier. Have two computers. One of them is the old ancient archaic dial-up. You know, the little modems, and it took forever to dial up. And next to it you have a fibre optic broadband. Right, who can access the information quicker? Common sense will tell you the broadband, obviously. Hence, us being universal remotes, connecting to information. The more information we learn, the more light. What is fibre optics? But the pulsing of light down a glass coaxial or wire, whatever you want to call it. So the more information, the more light makes you faster, oscillating, getting and retrieving information more quicker than Mr. Dial Up at the side of you. And that is what's happening. Our vessels are at a certain speed, and that connection is retrieving the information faster than you are experiencing the moment in the now. Hence the phenomenon to me that we're experiencing. Many times I've been in a situation where I saw something happening to me and I've changed my path so it does not happen. We're changing to another wire, another connection, another branch on the tree, because in Norse mythology they talk about unused ruins. And they say this is a possible future because it's all recorded, it's all stored, and it's out on the branch somewhere. And your path will navigate you through life, and your choices will go to A, B, C, D or E branch, and you'll miss that version and go to another. In one reality, if you took a left and went into a shop and got a lottery ticket, you'd win. In the other one, you'd go into another shop and not win. And luck, fate, or whatever you want to call it, is navigating you to a scenario. Some people, like I was saying, like a universal remote that you can use on different TVs and different technology, is just like us. More information, the more channels that you're able to access. And the more channels, the more decimals, the more encoding you're able to access different memories that you maybe not have been able to access, or you accessing memories that is from source. Like we talk about, you know, people basically inventing stuff and coming up with so great theories that they've said they've just accessed source, the divine, and got inspiration. So basically, you know, it just makes sense to me that deja vu is the ability that I've had, that I've downloaded. I've got the information before it's actually happened, and I'm a split second in front. And to me, it feels real. Is it just because it's just less grey matter? I'll leave that up to you, good folks. But to me, I'm just answering this question for myself because I found the topic intriguing, that these type of things happen. You have the Mandela effect. People will diss that and say it's misremembering. But we don't know properly how the brain works. It's like an enigma coding machine. It's an organic computer. And I've talked about the Mandela effect, how it's even been shown to be in ancient times, in Sumeria. And it's not just physical, but it's spiritual, and its essence, it's the laws of God. And if you had more of these things in your vicinity, you become more enlightened, more quicker, more faster, more, you know, show more discernment, more intelligent, or what. You know, calm down, Paul. But you know what I mean. So these things happen. I've experienced it myself. You can experience it for yourself, and we just put it down to A, B, C, and D. Some people will say Mandela effect, some people will say misremembering, but it's okay to say whatever you want. It's like I was saying that I've experienced a glitch in the Matrix, and thought it happened to me and 3 others. Me, my mum, and my children. And we all saw it. So we all shared an experience that changed me forever. And people have these weird experiences because we live in a magical realm. You know, where spells are used. We're magicians and magi, imagination. So we should not diss anything because it doesn't fit our insight at the minute. We just keep on going, keep on learning. Yeah, you've had that experience, but you've not experienced it. So, you know, we're all uniquely different. We all have access to different frequencies. But when you come into my chamber, my room, my frequency attunes with you. You pick up me. It's like, what do they call it? Stockholm syndrome, where people who are kidnapped start to have feelings for their captees. Because any time you spend with a person, either in company, on the phone, or virtual, you attune to them. You pick up their vibe. You start to think like them. How many times have I made videos and thought I am unique here with this, and then people say I had that thought as a day before, week before, etc., etc. Because we all attune together. We all then have a frequency which gives us a code to access things that store all around us. And we all have a universal remote. You learn more shit, you get another code. You get more light to retrieve and download quicker. And this is, to me, is what deja vu is. We are able to access a little bit quicker than what is classed as normal, so we can experience things. You have, precognition, perception, all things that can change and get influenced by what we see around us and what comes in, your input. So if your input changes, it goes faster, you'll see things quicker. But sometimes fast does not always mean it's better, because you miss things. That's why we have to rewind, but research, because we've missed things that we've forgotten about. So when we are researching for something that we already know. And people talk about amnesia. You know, we're all born with amnesia because the vessels, the hard drive was wiped, and we just got, more we learn, more access we get back to our memories that's stored all around us. Hence why the doorway effect works. It shouldn't. That's showing you the power of the door, the threshold, the transitioning, you know. And that's why they will talk about fates or the norms, a different thread, something they can control. And think about it, if memories are stored all around us, that would explain why they're spraying shit, they're using carp, they're using 5G frequencies, because it's happened to me, it's happened to friends who have ham radios. I don't have ham radios, but things have happened to me where I've heard old ghost radio stations, and it's because the information, the frequency is kept bouncing around this chamber, this room that we are in. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? And think about all the frequencies. If energy does not die, and it just gets transferred and transferred and changed or morphed into something else, it doesn't die, it stays. And that's why I talk about ghosts and different things, because the energy has just been changed into that type of energy and morphed. And if everything is kept around us, and hence why I was showing you like voices and things in the sky, it's why you feel it. What's on the tip of my tongue? What was I thinking? Let me look up and I'll retrieve it. You know, so everything is kept all around us, and that is why doorways are so important in this reality, because it can change that input to source. It's a split second of going through the door and retrieving it. You know what I mean? And that is why I've talked about arches as well being so important, and talked about how arches, if we are circuits, data on a circuit board, the NOT and an OR gates, the whatever's inputted into them can change due to whatever frequency is going into it or information. So you can go in through a door, a gate, and subliminally being changed, like voice to skull technology. Advertisement, how they push voices from boards and only you can hear it. All the messages that they do in the cinemas and quick flicking images to trick the brain, to change the brain so it accesses what they want you to. So this is another thing we have to think about. Sometimes focus. Focus, Paul. Focus, camera, focus. So it's all important and it all makes sense to me, but that's just to me. And how you look at long-term memory, whether it's it's called implicit or explicit, and we have memory where it's like muscle memory. It's like you walking through your home. Once you do it a few times, when you move in to your new home, you get the layout, don't you? And you can basically do it blindfolded, because you've got the imprint. Your body knows. Apart from when someone leaves a Lego or a plug out and you stand on it, and then you're able to project some kind words. So yeah, that is the type of thing that happens. So that's like the implicit, like the you know, that type of thing. And then you have the other type of memory that's facts and figures and different things and information. It's like having a different hard drive stored all around us, and it just takes a split second to get that information. But if someone's blocking that route to that or changing the way you get to it, these things, I mean, what's getting piggybacked? Are they able to send signals? Have they actually built a device, mechanical device, a computer that is retrieving and altering these thoughts? A bit like the thingy chrono thing that the Vatican say they had about looking into the future. Would that only be possible if everything is stored all around us, the past, the present and the future? And how do you connect to that reality but your own unique code? Your Dewey Decimal thing is able to access it, but you know, you learn another bit of information and that gives you access to another card and another part of the library around us. You've not taken into account also ancestral DNA and memories. You know, it's not just memories, thoughts, but it's memories of personalities, your mask, your face, how you look is a memory of an ancestor, your father, your mother, or your great-grandfather. You know, not many people in my family have brown eyes. My children do, but hence me, but my dad and my mum had blue. It was my granddad who had brown eyes. So things get passed on. It's ancestral memories. Why do you have a certain trait, certain skill that your ancestor had? Because things get passed on. So your ancestors, all their memories are stored all around us. And that's why is this what happens with schizophrenia? That's also been attributed to deja vu, hearing voices. Well, we've got voices called technology. They're able to implement thoughts and things. But what if you're accessing someone else's thought, someone else's memory? It will sound like a demon. Because you are basically a universal remote. Some people are so unique. They're a universal remote from birth, and they see, feel, hear so much because we're a medium. We're making a wake. Some can surf, some will drown. But this, for me, my personal, it is real. It's happened to me so much. And it's so vivid. But I won't say, well, it's this, or I've lost my mind. That's like an easy cop-out. And I've learned to, things in this reality happen to people differently. All depends on you and what you know, how you are birthed into this magical realm. The trauma, so it's an intriguing topic, and this just makes sense to me that deja vu is us just accessing memories a little bit quicker than the physical now. Because people talk about past and present doesn't exist. We're always living now. There's never a tomorrow, because when tomorrow comes, it is today. So if reality, everything is predetermined and stored, and you are given free will to navigate the reality, to access each memory, did a computer program, did AI, like AI, it's in the middle of the brain. Are they just trying to change the path of reality on you, not going to that shop one day and picking up and winning that money, keeping you in your lane? Is there a force? Is there fates? Are they predetermined which fate you take? Or have you got endless? Bit like the Adjustment Bureau. If you watch that film, it's one of my favourites, where they put the hats on, but what did they do? They turned the doors. Again, the doors are important, because that's how you transition from A to B to C to D. And it's a powerful energy. Hence the circuit boards, the arches. When something is bricked up, a window or a door, it's been discharged from service. It's no longer working. Hence why a certain god I research is so revered, because he is the god of doors. You have the pineal. Is that a way of accessing deja vu, if that door is open or revolving, or able to give you access to these memories slightly quicker? It's a lot of what ifs. I acknowledge that, and that's why I just love experiencing this and taking you along for the ride. We're talking about something that's happening. Deja vu, is it real? Some people will say no, some people will insult me. They're not people. I always try and, life is hard enough as it is. And I was always taught, if you got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. You get insulted left, right and centre. There's no right, because people want to change. It's not just them, those, them. People themselves in the so-called community want to change how you think, control where you go, control the flow of information. If we are data flowing on the circuit board, anagram of data, remember, is da'at, which is enlightenment, knowledge, the light, causing it number 11 on the Seraphot. Oh, but that's demonic. This is demonic. You're demonic. You're gnostic. You're this. I'm nothing. I don't want to label myself. If you want to label yourself, cool, go for it. But I don't want to take the red pill, the blue pill. I want to take my own way. I'm controlled enough as it is. You know, the path in this reality, the petard, the Peters, are trying to control us, trying to force us down that way, hence the new normal. So when we put all this together, is this effect actually happening? Why? Well, because you are just like more unique, susceptible. You are a medium, and you are able to re-encode the information that is already been stored. You're getting it faster. It makes sense, doesn't it? If I can do this quicker than that hand taking, I'm going to take more. But sometimes you can overindulge. You know, so it's all about experiencing it and taking the hits and getting yourself back up and starting again. And this is why I love making content, because I'm retrieving it, I'm using my thoughts, and I'm storing it in a video that I can go back to. Hence why I forget a lot. Because, you know, there's always something else to think about, and this is my little library. So, do you experience it, deja vu? Do you like what I've said it could be? And, like, not proven, but showing you, like, well, yeah, do you forget when you walk through a door? Well, why? If your memories are here. If these memories are accessed somewhere else, there's no label. You know, we all think, because this is the remote, this is the computer, this is the index. And we access information, and we're getting that information slightly earlier than the present vessel knows, and you're feeling it. You know, there's mediums. Yes, there's people fakes. But for every fake, there's a real one. It's like anything. Like AI now, using the photographs and people using that as oh, look at this. You can tell it's AI, but people are still falling for it. So they're making you retrieving information, forming new paths by influxing with basically made up shit. As long as you saying this is AI and I'm just theorizing, then this is what that means in something physical and able to see. That's cool. But using it as a fake and knowing it's a fake is wrong. And as long as you tell people this is just an opinion, this is just what I'm using this for, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what happens in this reality. Everything is to trying to deceive. But I look at it as information. Some of it is just information that I will throw away. But that's what I used to do in the olden times. I used to throw it away. You should never throw it away. See, contradict myself a little bit, because even if it's wrong, how would you know it's wrong if you throw it away? You'll constantly be picking different information from the same source. So keep the information. Don't discard it. I've saw people in this, oh, I'm going to discard all that now because I am awake. I am woke. And how did I fall for that? Because you've just seen it with new eyes. But if you discard that wrong, how will you know what feels more right to you? You have to compare. And that's what I use. So don't discard information. Use it. Use it. Use it for you then to show an alternative. Hey guys, welcome to my video on Deja Vu. This is what I think it could be. I think memories are stored all around us. We are able to access it quicker than the physical now, the past, the present and the future. The transition between them moments is all stored around us in the water. Makes sense to me, doesn't it? Water takes on the form of anything that's around it. Schillering, cymatics. Where does the energy go when we create it? The toroidal field of us. Does that impact how we retrieve the information? Does it amplify the signal? meaning we get a bigger signal. That's what I've talked about in my toroidal video. Tor. Tor is German for door. That bloody door gets about. So, what do you think, guys? Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it makes sense on how I wanted to make this video. Just show you a few clips to get your insights. The new normal, the new fates. That's the phase. They're trying to change you from one phase to another. If memories are stored around us, is that why they are polluting the ether? You know, you could call it the ether. You can call it what you want. But more information that you learn, the more brighter you become. More light is more information able to come down that light. That's just my theory anyway. So please guys, hopefully you enjoyed. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like, please share, subscribe. And if you want to help me in the channel, please use the link to buy me a bar, which is buy me a coffee. So guys, till next time, hopefully you've liked this video on Deja Vu. I'll see you soon. Deja Vu. Hello and welcome to the Black Sheep. I'm only kidding. So guys, have a blast. Enjoy the now. I'll see you soon. Bye.